My name is Karen Carrington. I'll be your host for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. It is almost Valentine's Day, and we are here for Rosaland Caselberry's book launch. We are all super excited. Thank you all for coming.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, and congratulations on this big event, this monumental milestone of yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know how much blood, sweat, and tears you have put into this project.
Yes.
It's such a blessing to be able to have you here tonight and talk about this milestone. Now, I have something special with me, and it is called Unconditional Love. Oh! This book,
Yes.
when I read it, it is so emotional. It brought so much emotion. I love the way that you poured your heart into and soul into it.
Yes.
Before we even get started, I want to ask you a question. What made you decide to write this book?
Well, when I was a little girl, I always loved reading books. I read every type of book I could read. Memoirs, autobiographies, just any kind of book. I loved a lot of romance books. So, and I have a bit of an imagination. So it took me 7 years from start to finish to complete this book. But once I started just writing that first word, it just took off. So it had been on me for a while to write a story, just from life experiences and, imagination and some fantasies. So I just came up with the story, about unconditional love in every, relationship, aspect, just not just romantic, but, friends, coworkers, family, yeah, just, and that's basically what this book is about. It's just unconditional love for everybody, basically. But there's a good love story here. Yes,
I know there is. And thank you. What I love also is I see that beautiful ray of sunshine tuning in all the way from, where are you tuning in from?
California,
my place. Speaking of sunshine and California and unconditional love, for those of us who may not know what unconditional love is, I think we all might be familiar with love, but
yes.
Rosaland, what is, for those of us who don't know, what is unconditional love?
Ooh, unconditional love. I know this so well. I've learned this throughout my life. A lot of people who know me know that my mom has, lived with mental health illness, all of her life. And it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of unconditional love to be able to help, someone like that, your family, your loved one who suffers from mental health, illnesses. And that's where I have learned a lot about being patient with people, and it takes a lot. It's deep as far as, having unconditional love. And then you also have to have boundaries with that love. Okay. It's a lot of boundaries, but yeah, I've learned that throughout my life, that, you can take a hit, but, that don't mean you have to get off the field,
You could take a hit, but it doesn't mean you have to get off the field.
Yes.
I love that. You said a lot of important things there when you made reference to boundaries.
Yes.
Unconditional love means loving that person no matter what. No matter what, it's unconditional. There's no condition placed on it.
No condition.
It's not that I will love you if you do this for me. I will love you only if you do that for me. However, when we do that, there also has to be boundaries. Love doesn't mean giving everything of yourself where you lose yourself.
Right.
That's not unconditional love. You still have to have boundaries. And when we hear the word boundaries, we think of something rigid. Boundaries, stay away, limits. Boundaries doesn't have to be something that's rigid or negative. They're actually
Right.
quite healthy. Healthy boundaries is, I love you. I want this for you. I want you to win. I want us to win. But what I need from you is stop drinking, stop with the
Yes.
drugs, stop with the criticism. I need that healthy boundary from you. And if
Right.
someone loves you unconditionally, they will respect that. They
Right.
will.
Right. That is true. That is true. But a lot of people don't understand the concept as far as boundaries, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm,
Okay. You can't, if I can't love myself enough to know when to say no or
mm,
set that boundary, I'm empty, and I have to be replenished. You can't give when there's nothing coming back. You still have to take a break. You have to take a break.
amen.
So yeah, you love people. People have their own issues. We all have something that we have to deal with. We can love them, but say, hey, I need to step away. I need a break because you're doing this, and I'm telling you this hurts me, and you're not changing. So I have to step away for myself. For my own sanity, for my own, mental health. I have to replenish so I can help you. I can't help you if I'm, beat down.
Right.
Or I have to love myself. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
you
work.
got it. You got it. And do you ever feel that we are afraid to step away, even though it's the best thing to do? Do you ever feel that there's circumstances where we're afraid to step away in fear that we will lose that relationship?
Yes, that's another concept that sometimes it takes a while for us to learn, to understand that concept, because what we release is going to come back if it's meant for us anyway. Okay, what we love, we're going to release. We're not going to try to control it, because love is not control. It's not trying to control a person or turn them into something they're not. That's one of the biggest problems in relationship. We get with someone, we see they're not what we really want, but we think we can change them, and we can't change them. Okay, they have to do that for themselves, and they have to decide for themselves. And we don't just frustrate the situation by trying to change somebody. If they're not for you, then hey, communicate. And this is not working. I'm gonna have to let you go. We have to love ourselves enough to let go of what's not good for us, and that's something we have to learn in another aspect. So
You're right.
it's deep.
Sometimes the flags we see are as red as my
Red,
dress. Okay.
yeah, blinking, smoke coming
Blinking,
from, yeah, on
and
fire.
but I think it's because
Yeah.
we're looking for love so badly that sometimes we turn that blind eye, hoping, that this will be different. I rather, I noticed that he's drinking. I noticed that he's smoking. I noticed that he's with other women, or I noticed she, is not being honest. Yet we want to either change them, like you mentioned, or not want to accept the truth. In sometimes people rather half love than no love.
Right. And that comes from, we have, childhood wounds, or, old relationship wounds that we haven't healed from. And a lot of people jump from one relationship to the next, and they're really not ready emotionally, mentally, and they're not stable. And sometimes people look for someone to make me happy.
Right.
And I've had someone to say that to me, and it kind of, like, once I got to that point where I knew who I was and I loved myself 100% unconditionally, no one can step to me and be like, oh, I want you to make me happy. I want to be with you because I want you to make me happy. I can't make you happy. That's not my job. That's not my responsibility. You have to make yourself happy. So that's the number one worst reason to choose a person, to make you happy. Nothing outside of yourself is going to make you happy ever. Ever. Ever.
It's so true. And do you, in your opinion, do you feel that when you're in a relationship that it's the partner's somewhat responsibility to add happiness whatsoever? Like, is it, what, you make yourself happy, or is there supposed to be some contribution of some sort, in your opinion?
Well, we should be whole already anyway, and not looking for someone to make us whole.
Mhm.
and we should already be happy. So when you deal with a person, if you decide you want to be with a person, it needs to really be, do they have anything to do with my life purpose? Is this relationship purpose? It doesn't have a purpose.
Right.
If it doesn't have a purpose, you're wasting your time. Time and energy.
Yeah, time and
It
energy is
can't be
something we
super.
can't get back, right?
Yeah, you can't. It can't be superficial. So I'm not looking for somebody to come into my life to make me happy, but they have to be happy. They have to be whole. They got to bring something to the table, something positive, and it has to be for a purpose. God, divine purpose.
Has there ever been a time where someone was in your life that was not meant for you?
Oh, plenty of times. Plenty of times. But that took me finding out who I was, finding out my purpose. See, we have to find out our purpose to even be happy. You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
live through their life, they don't know what their purpose is, and they don't know why they're not happy, why they're miserable, why they don't like to go to work every day, because they're doing something that is just passing the time. It's not their purpose.
No, it's
And we have
true.
more than one purpose, but yeah, to give someone else that power over me to make me happy or make me sad, no, I'm gonna keep my power. I'm gonna keep my power. I'm not giving you the keys to my happiness. I'm already happy. So you can't
Ooh,
make
I'm
me
not
happy. You can
giving you
bring
the
in, yeah, you can bring in, some joy, some peace, because don't come with drama. I'm not doing drama. Love is gonna bring peace, joy, more happiness. You can't make me happy, you gotta bring more to me. If I'm happy and you're negative, a bolt of negative energy, why would I attach myself to that?
I love that. I love that you
Right.
said that. And I love that you even talked about that a lot in your book. I
Yeah.
love the characters in the book. I love Erica. For those of you who don't have the book yet, you have to get it. The production team will put the link in the chat. This book, even though it's it's a fiction, a book, there's so much realness to the book. Even though the characters are fictional, there's so much realness that we could all relate to. There's so many parts in there where Erica, the main character, we could all see ourselves in, and Marcus, you could see ourselves in these real life stories.
Yes.
And so I meant to ask you another thing.
Okay.
Romance. I know it's Valentine's Day and it's romance, and this is a great time to launch this book. Do you think that this book can be inspiring all year around? Do you find that Valentine's Day is a day that we all get really excited to show love, and then in our relationships, it kind of goes down after that? How is it that we could be able to be inspired for love all year round and not just on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, just like Christmas.
Right? Like everyone's on
Or you
Christmas.
celebrate God, Jesus. Yes. Love is every day. It should be every day. Just like you should celebrate your birthday every day, because every day you wake up, it's a new day to be reborn and start over again.
I love that. Love every day.
Yes, every day. It's
I
not
love
always
that.
easy, but yeah, every day.
Show love every
Yes,
day.
every day.
And not just love, unconditional love.
Unconditional love. Yes.
Now, there is a part in this book where Erica talks about Marcus wants to speak to her.
Okay.
And he brings her on the couch and they sit down, and he really expresses his love for her quickly. And it makes her feel a little bit like, oh.
Right.
Do you know that part I'm talking about? There's a part where I believe she's just taken back a bit. And she wants to go a bit slower.
Yes. So Erica is divorced. Okay. She spent several years with someone that she really loved, who turned out to be actually a narcissist, had narcissistic tendencies. But he recently started coming back around. You know how men do, they go out and play their game or whatever, and they want to come back, a couple times. But Marcus is very decisive. He knows what he wants. He knows himself. He's happy with himself. He's not looking for someone outside of himself to make him happy. He's already happy and whole. And what he sees in Erica, he sees her. He sees who she is, okay, because he is focused. He's a focused man. He's not confused about anything. He's not double-minded about anything. He's driven. So professionally and emotionally, mentally stable. So he wastes no time telling her how he feels. And there are genuine feelings.
I caught on to that. Caught on to that. You know, I think when we reach a certain age, you know, there's a time when we say we need to take things slow. I also believe once we reach a certain age, we know what we want. And just because we do things quickly, it doesn't mean it's wrong. The feelings, I caught that from the book. The feelings were genuine. He's in a good place in his life. He knows what he wants. He knows what he doesn't want. He knows that he wants her, and he's ready to step forward. And he said, I'm not going to bring you any drama. You are safe with me. And that really touched me. I really believed that the speed that he was going at was appropriate. There's no too fast or too slow. It was just right. And he went with his authentic intuition. And I'm so glad that she was open to love.
Yes. They have a bit of a drama, you know, some drama does come up, but you know, y'all have to read that.
You'll have to read that part. You have to read that part. You'll have to read that part's juicy. But what I love is that he was so upfront with his feelings.
Yes.
That
Honesty.
Yes. And
that's what and that's what Erica needed, was honesty and loyalty.
Yeah.
Number one. And I think that was the main thing about him, his characteristic, what gave her, you know, the push to, okay, I'm gonna take a chance, because he was honest and loyal. Yeah.
And I think that's what women are looking for. I'm going to speak on behalf of women, is that we're looking for that loyalty and that honesty and that safety and that trust, all the words that you said. You know, it's just, that's what we're looking for after some of the pain that we have gone through. And men too. Men have gone through a lot of pain. But right now we're talking about Erica, the character. And I really commend her for trying at love once again. Sometimes you want to give up on love. You know, we've all been there. But I give her that kudos to her for wanting to try one last time and for giving it another go. There's an entry that I want to talk about in your book that really spoke to me. It was a beautiful part at the end, a beautiful part. I'm going to read it for you. It was so beautiful, and we'll bring up the slide. Let's see. So this is a part for those of you who don't have the book yet, you're missing out. This is a part where Erica writes in her journal, "Dear journal, today is Valentine's Day and it's his birthday, and he chose to be with someone else. My heart is broken and I can't stop crying. I wish I could transport myself into the future and bypass the process of the pain and the healing." I really, really love that part that Erica wrote, where she says, I want to bypass the pain and the healing. Yes. Especially the part where she said, my heart is broken. I can't stop crying. I have been in that position before where my heart has broken and I can't stop crying. I want to talk to you about the part where she says, I want to bypass the pain. Can you relate to this part in the story? I feel like this has a lot to do with maybe one of your personal experiences.
So that was a reflective moment in the book for Erica, where she's reflecting on, you know, her journey thus far as her divorce and then meeting someone, falling in love again. So when I wrote that reflective moment in the book, I was going through my own breakup. So that was very emotional when you just read that. I'm like, the way you read is like, oh my God, that's deep. So yeah, I was going through my own breakup when I wrote that portion of the story. So that was actually from my own personal journal. Yeah.
And I felt that when I read it, and I think we've all been there. There's nothing like a broken heart. And I feel like when my heart's broken, it physically breaks. I could feel it physically breaking.
Yes.
And the part where she says, I wish I could transport myself into the future and bypass the healing and the pain. As much as we all want to bypass that, I believe that the pain does make you stronger.
It does. The process, we have to go through the process. If we skip steps in the process, we have to go back and do it over. It's like we choose the same person and we end up in the same relationship because we haven't healed or figured out what the issue was, you know, or issues. So, but it's difficult, you know, when you're going through heartbreak or trying to figure out why or what's going on, you know, or trying to get them back, you know how it goes. We want to bypass the process of having to heal and then start over. And that's where Erica was. She was in so much pain that she just didn't want to go through the process to even, you know, she just wanted to bypass the process and not even deal with it because it was too much for her. But she got through it.
She did. We always do.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And the part where she said it was Valentine's Day and he chose to be with someone else. Sometimes we give people the power to choose us. And if we're not chosen, we feel lesser than. But
it's never about us. Even when you're married and your husband, you know, we hear the story all the time, your husband goes out and cheats. It's never about you. You can be Beyonce and Jay-Z is gonna still go out there and cheat on you. You know what I'm saying? That's the story. It's not about Beyonce. His issue is not about Beyonce. His issue is about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has issues. So if you can't put your self-worth, you can't define your self-worth in anything that you have on the outside of yourself. Your self-worth is on the inside. Nothing outside, no material thing, no person, no place or thing should give you your value. And if you get chosen or not, choose yourself. Number one, God chose you. You're chosen already. So you don't have to put your value in a man. We weren't born to just be someone's wife. And a lot of people put so much value on, oh, I need to get married, I need a husband, I need something like that. No, you need to find your life purpose. You need to love yourself, because that's when we get in a mess, when we just accept anything. You know, the relationship I was in, God knew he couldn't go with me. He couldn't go where I was going because he already knew what he was doing, okay? God is sitting up there watching us like a movie. He sees everything every set is being played. So he knows everything. And while we're upset about why something didn't work out, God already knows why it didn't work out, because they weren't for you. He has something better for you, okay? And he knows the issues that person has, and they're toxic, you know? Or vice versa. He knows you need to find yourself. You need to love yourself and find self-worth in yourself, not in someone else, okay? Not being chose.
I love that word, chose. Yeah. God has already chosen us. And you know what? When you choose yourself first, I believe that God will send the right person for you. Once you choose yourself first, it's funny what comes to play after that. Everything falls into purpose. Once you start choosing yourself first, you will find that job. You will find that perfect home. You will find that perfect man when you choose yourself first. It's always when you're not looking and you're not looking to be chosen and looking to be is when you will be found. You know, I always love to say, just because you're not being discussed, it doesn't mean you're not being discovered. You will be discovered. Right. You don't always have to be discussed. You will be discovered. So I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you had one item in the book that you could change and do over, what would that be?
That's a good question, a hard question. I mean, the entire story is like perfect for me. I don't know what I would change. Wow. I don't have an answer for that one. Well, I can't think of anything. Everything worked out the way it was supposed to. Perfectly.
You got it.
Yeah, everything worked out the way it was supposed to perfectly. So I wouldn't change anything.
I think so too. I think that's exactly how I would leave it. And that's probably why it took you so long to answer, because it's perfect. It is. It's well written.
Thank you.
It's the emotion, the character development, the title. For all of you who want to go get that on Amazon, it's Unconditional Love. The link is in the chat. It's perfect gift in time for Valentine's Day rush order, right? And we also just want to thank you so much, Rosaland, for having the courage to write. There takes courage. And I know resilience and persistence and a lot of emotion goes into writing a book. And I just want to congratulate you personally from the Karen Carrington Show of just your journey
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just for putting your words to paper, because that just blesses us all. So I just want to thank you in advance for sharing your life with us, your feelings, your emotion, your courage. And I know someone watching will be blessed with this, with tonight. There's someone out there, I believe, who is either in love, looking for love, just fell out of love, wanting to understand love. And I believe that your love is coming. I believe that it's just around the corner.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think so too. I think so too.